thank the Savior. I thank God.
Hey, I don't know about you, but I'm thankful for where He brought me from this morning. Come on, He brought me out of the grave. He brought me out of the pit. And now my life is forever changed. Hey. Come on, if He did it for me, He can do it for you this morning. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up,
Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Get up, get up, get up, get up out of that grave. Pick me up, turn me around, place my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because He healed my heart, changed my name. Forever free, I'm not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God.
come on, why don't you do that all over the house right now? Thank you, Jesus.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for You. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for You. Oh, we live for You. 'Cause You are holy. There is no one like You. There is none beside You. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who You are and fill me with Your heart and lead me in Your love to those around me. So worthy, worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for You. Your name is Jesus. It's Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one that could ever save. Worthy, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for You. Oh, we live for You. 'Cause You are holy. There is no one like You. There is none beside You. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who You are and fill me with Your heart and lead me in build my life. Come on, lift your hands and sing it. Upon your love, it is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will lift your hands and sing, holy, there is no one like you, there is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder, show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Holy, there is no one like you, there is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder, show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me.
Are you in a season right now where maybe you're not sure of things, but you know that God is doing something new? God is wanting some growth to take place in your life. Is anybody there?
In the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender, you are breaking new ground. So I yield to you, to your faithfulness. When I trust you, I don't need to understand. Make me a vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, and all you have given me, Jesus, bring new wine out of me. In the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender, you are breaking new ground. Oh, you are breaking new ground. Make me a vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me I came here with nothing, God.
Came here with nothing,
I have only what
but all
you
you
give
have
me.
given me.
Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. It's where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom. The kingdom is here. I lay down my old faith, carry your new fire. Where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom.
Lift your hands and sing this.
God, I came here with nothing, but all you've given me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Oh, Jesus, bring new wine out of me.
Can anybody relate to that right now? Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Can he have your heart? Can he have your heart? My heart is yours completely. My heart is yours solely, Lord. You love with no reservation. You're not looking for perfection. And there's no need in me pretending. I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything. You deserve my full attention. Nothing less than my devotion. Oh, speak to me and I will listen. I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything. Lift it up. Oh, oh, oh. You can have my heart.
Have my heart.
You can have my heart.
My heart.
Sing it again. Say,
Oh, 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 you can have my heart. You can have my heart.
be the Lord of my emotions. Set me free from selfish motives. Search me till there's nothing hidden. I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything. Oh, oh, oh. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Sing it out, say oh. Oh, oh, oh. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Oh, my mind. My spirit, Lord. You can have my heart. Everything, Jesus. You can have my heart. Sing oh. Oh, oh, you can have my heart. You can have my heart. You can have it, Lord. My heart is yours forever. My heart is yours forever. My heart is yours forever. If it's his forever, lift it up. My heart is yours forever. One heart, one mind, one spirit.
My heart is yours
Give it to the Lord, sing it. My heart is yours forever. Oh, it's yours, Lord. My heart is yours forever. You got it. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. I'll give you everything. You got it. If you want my heart, if you want it, you got it. I'll give it to you, Jesus. You got it. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. Throw away the key, God. If you want my heart, it's yours. You got it. It's yours. You got it. It's yours, you got it. God. If you want my heart, you got it. You got it. Oh, oh, oh. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Everything is yours, oh God. Oh, oh, oh. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. Sing it out again from the depths of your heart, from the depths of your soul. Let it be your prayer right now that He can have your heart. He can have your heart. Oh, oh, oh. You can have my heart. You can have my heart. It's yours, God. It's yours, Lord.
Anybody feel that way today? Well, does anybody feel that way today? God, you can have my heart. I give it to you completely. It's all yours. I give you everything. Absolutely. Glad you're here today. Would you just shake someone's hand real quick? Don't walk across the aisle. Just shake someone's hand real quick and tell them you look nice. Tell them you look nice. You look nice. You look nice. Glad you're here today. You look nice. Glad you're here today. All right. That was good. That was good. That was real quick. That was real quick. I got to get your attention back over here. It was a real quick moment. Some of you just happy to talk in church. Some of you need to be a preacher. Oh, yeah. Glad you're here today. And I want to say so blessed to have you. If you're a guest today, would you welcome our guest anchor family? We are so excited that you have joined us today. We would love for you to connect with us. We would love for you to connect with us. There is a quick way of connecting. There's a tap tag right in front of you if you've never connected. We would love for you to connect with us. Matter of fact, you can see ways to give. You can see what's going on. You can connect to the Church Center app. But we would love for you to connect with us. I want to say a big thank you to all of the Anchor Kids staff right now who's next door and who've been serving week in, week out. Would you give those Anchor Kids staff a round of applause and just tell them thank you? Thank you. Absolutely. One other thing I would like to give gratitude is I would like to say she's not in here right now. She was on the platform. But Amberlyn has served us for the last 8 years as an assistant to Brother Wright and I. And she just about a week and a half ago is transitioning into something else. And I want to say just a big thank you personally to Amberlyn for all that she's done for this church. Would you give her a round of applause and gratitude? She's not in here, but when you see her, just tell her thank you. And if you want to get a hold of me, the best way to do that is by way of going through Lakin. Lakin will be your contact person to reach me. Thank you for your faithfulness in stewardship and tithing and offering. We're going to receive an offering right now. It's because of your faithfulness in giving. Go ahead, ushers. That we do ministry local and abroad. And I just want to say thank you very, very much. There's multiple ways to give, but it's because of your faithfulness in stewardship. Your faithfulness in stewardship. And just thank you, thank you, thank you. Mary, tell us what's happening. Some great things coming up in the next 2 weeks, but just tell us what's happened. Just go ahead. I know you have the announcements. Go ahead.
Yes. Journey to the Cross. It's been great. We're on our way. And we're getting closer to Easter, which is what it's all about, leading to that great day. So we just want you to know that we want Easter to be a big deal for our kids around here. We want each family, those kids, to just be blessed. And the way that those kids feel blessed is for Easter eggs to come down by the millions. So maybe the thousands. I don't know. Hundreds.
The
Okay.
thousands.
So Easter eggs, candy filled. If you can tape them, that would be great. If that's not something that you're able to do, and you can just drop off the eggs filled with candy, or even eggs and candy, we can facilitate filling them. We can facilitate taping them. But if you want to go the extra mile, you'll fill the eggs with candy and you'll tape the eggs. And we will appreciate every one of them.
Absolutely. And we normally drop around 10,000 eggs a year. So that is like our target goal. So if you can, thank you, Clive, for clapping. I love that. 10,000 eggs a year. That's a
lot of eggs.
That's a lot of eggs. That's a lot of eggs. And you may say, well, I don't have time to get the eggs or do candy. If you can just donate to us, we will purchase the pre-filled eggs, and we will do that ourselves if you would like to help us in this endeavor. Also, we have, as you were talking about, Easter's on the way, and Easter Sunday. I would love to see this house packed out Easter Sunday. Could you help bring somebody, invite family and friends Easter Sunday? Who can help? Who can help? Say, Pastor, I'm going to help pack the house. Awesome. All right, so we're going to get ready for Easter. That leads us into this Friday and Saturday. The dates, do you remember the dates on?
27th and 28th.
What's happening?
We're going to have a serve day.
A serve day.
So it's a great way to come out and put your talents to work around. We all have talents in picking up things, cleaning up things,
Sprucing
and
up
organizing
things. Yes.
stuff. If we don't, we can learn. So come out and be a part of that. So we are beautifying our campus, outside, inside, and just working together to do it.
Absolutely. So that's this Friday and Saturday. You can sign up in the foyer. You can also sign up on the Church Center app. Brother and Sister Ryder are not here, but he would love to have a lot of help in helping this campus get it in tip-top shape. So if you can facilitate, just help us. We would love for you to do so. That's all the go ahead.
Do they need to bring, if they have equipment that can be used?
If they have it, they can bring it with them. That'd be wonderful. I know Brother Wright will have some things, but he really is looking for the bodies. And so, but, yeah, but if you got equipment, bring the equipment with you. It will not be turned down as well. And I think that's everything, right?
Yes.
I love all of you. God bless you in Jesus' name. It's going to be a dynamic day. John Guedry is speaking. I am so excited about hearing John speak. Look at that. Look at the response of that. John speaking today. It's going to be a great, great moment. You can be seated. Take your attention to the screens, please.
Couldn't remember how long that video was for a second. Good morning. How are all my friends doing? How are the rest of you doing? It gives me such just calm and gives me just so much comfort to know that when I'm in a room like this, I'm with family. I'm with friends. I'm with people that I love. I'm with people who've invested in me. I'm with people that I've invested in. And that gives us a special connection. Now, there's a bunch of you going, we don't even know who this clown is. What's he talking about? We'll get there. Just hang around for a while and we'll meet. And that's just what happens in the context of this family, right? We meet one another. We serve one another. We love one another. And then that begins to lay out a pathway for us to be able to express the Christ life in the most beautiful possible way all day, every day. Do I have anybody that knows this was never about changing your life around so that you could attend a worship service every Sunday? Is that a good thing to do? Yeah, absolutely. But not if that's you checking the box so you can move on to something else and live the rest of your life the way you want to. What we want to see is an infectious spread of the Spirit-empowered life, the Spirit-led life. we like to call it around here. An infectious spread of that. And today, in the topic we're going to look at together, I think we can make some progress there. So who's ready to lean in and press forward with what you think the Lord just might want for your life? Now, you might say, well, I don't know what he wants for my life. We'll get there. Just give me a few minutes, okay? That's a big part of what we're looking at today. I think it was about 7 weeks ago, Spencer called me and said, would you do one of the messages for us in our Journey to the Cross series? Oh, absolutely, sure. He said, we just need you to cover from the time they left the upper room on the walk to Gethsemane, everything that happened in the garden, and the denial, the betrayal, and the trials. That's all. I said, how many weeks do I have? It reminds me of the time that I was invited to another church to speak, and they had been going through a series on A.W. Tozer's Pursuit of Holiness. Amazing book. If you've read that, I highly recommend it. And they said, we're trying to cover the whole book in 5 weeks, so tonight we need you to cover the doctrines of grace, mercy, and justification, and you have 25 minutes. Okay, that didn't happen, by the way. We barely got through mercy, and it took 40, all right? So today, though, today is not about piling up a bunch of content. Today is not about stacking up information, but can I tell you there's a lot of information to stack up here. But that's not what we want to do. We want to walk with the disciples and Jesus out of the upper room where we last left them, and we want to walk with them into unexplored territory. They went down a path into a place where they had been many times, but they had never quite been there the way they went that day. And that's where we connect today. You've done what you're doing right now many times. Wherever you are in your life, with the ups and downs and the twists and turns and the good days and the bad days, my guess is that you're in a place really similar to a place you've been before. Because most of the time, the same habits, the same patterns just keep repeating themselves over and over if we don't make a substantial change. So if I find you here in places you've been before, I want to meet you there and walk with you into places we've never been before. Come on, talk to me. Uncle George is not here today, so some of y'all got to make up for it. He always talks to me and keeps me going. Let's go some places we've never been before. I did everything in the world that you're supposed to do settings-wise so that screen was going to just come on when I walked up here, and it is not doing it. There we go. So when we last left Jesus and the disciples, they were finishing up the Last Supper, what we know as the Last Supper, the introduction that has become what we call communion or the Lord's Supper. And how many were here for that? Anybody here? Did you love that immersive experience in what they had done? It gave us a feel for what was happening there. And in the course of that supper, we discussed, Pastor mentioned the 4 cups of wine that were part of the Passover ceremony. And then what I realized somewhere in the last, probably this week, is that they never actually got around to the 4th cup that night. And today, we're going to find that cup right in the middle as a central figure of what we want to talk about together. Now, when they left the upper room, we know that it says they sang a hymn and went out unto the Mount of Olives. All my life, I've had preachers that after every time the Lord's Supper was done would love to say, they sang a hymn and went out to the Mount of Olives, so let's all sing whatever the preacher's favorite hymn was together. And I think it's because nobody ever knew what the song was. We actually know what they sang, and we'll find that together today. And we've heard of the places that they walked through, but I don't think we ever stopped and realized exactly what they walked through to get to the garden. And we know that he prayed in a garden, but I don't think we've ever stopped to realize what that garden was all about. If we can touch on some things and get through all of that today, I think there are some transforming moments that are there that life can be built upon. For the last few years, I've been working on really a project that keeps growing. A project that I believe is going to become a framework, a construct that can literally revolutionize discipleship as we know it. And it was about a year ago that it hit me. I know what this needs to be called, because for the longest time, I didn't have a good proprietary name for it. I didn't know what it needed to be called. But all of a sudden, it hit me. I got the idea. I went and bought the .com, because you got to do that, right? And then I've been sitting on it for about a year, until a few months ago, some key pieces started flying together. The pictures started taking shape. And so I'm walking through life right now with that in the background. That's lurking in the shadows at all times for me. When I got the call a few weeks ago to do this today and received my assignment, I realized everything I've been looking at is the journey Jesus and his disciples were on right in that leg of the story. So our topic today is simply this: sacrificial intelligence. We live in a world that is dominated by a different kind of intelligence these days. All the headlines, what is it? AI. You know what the A stands for, though? Artificial. I don't know about you, but that sounds fake to me, right? Artificial intelligence. But we can't go. How many of you used AI this week? How many of you subscribe to an AI platform or service? How many of you use an AI agent to do some work for you while you're not even watching? A couple of those. Now, here's the big question. Get ready. Who was affected by, exposed to AI, whether you know it or not, this week? That's every hand that's not paralyzed needs to be raised right now. It's everywhere. It's made its way all through our society. It's growing by leaps and bounds. It's expanding. The capabilities are shifting. But there's one part of it that really troubles me. And I hear this over and over. I follow a particular business coach, and I heard her say recently, with all of the AI tools that are out there, you don't even need to think anymore. Just let AI do it for you. And you know what? I'm down with it. I'm not one of those party poopers who say, well, it must be from the devil. We got to stay away from it. Anything can be of the devil, but anything can be used of the Lord. And if anything exists, the Lord somehow was the creator who inspired it, one way or the other, right? I mean, that's just how it works. So let's yield it to him. But there's that idea that we don't have to think anymore, that bothers me. Because where we don't know how to think, where we don't know how to reason, where we don't know how to sort things out, that's where we get ourselves in trouble. That's where we get deceived. That's where we make bad decisions. That's where we get caught up in things that just get us way off track. We have to think. There's another movement that says, really, AI is just the God consciousness that people have been looking for all these years. You just ask it, it gives you the answers. You ask it how to do it, it tells you how to do it. Well, obviously, that doesn't sit well with me either. Because AI is only doing what humans have programmed it to do at the end of the day. Men have been trying to build towers of Babel all through the years, and they've always come crashing down. They always have flaws in them. So I know AI is not human. I know AI is not God. And so it tells me while it can be a useful tool, it is going to change the economy of this nation, first for good, and then I believe it leads to a crash, but that's another subject for another day. But we need more. Scientific knowledge is not the answer. It leaves us high and dry in the end. It never quite covers everything. It doesn't get down to the depths of what we need. So what is it that we're really looking for? What is it that brings the breakthrough that we need in the quest for life? Not just to make you feel better about life, but to make you fully flourish and function for exactly what God created you to do. What is it? What is it? I believe this subject, sacrificial intelligence, leads us to understanding that. Here's the premise. Here's the premise. The biggest questions that exist for people everywhere boil down to something like this. What is God's will for me? Why am I here? What do I do next? Does that cover a lot? Those are questions that AI can't answer. Those are questions that science has never really been able to fully answer, and the human soul continues to quest for that. But I believe we have a guaranteed pathway to make the will of God, which really answers all of those questions. We have a pathway to make the will of God not quite the unreachable goal that we've always found it to be. I believe we are guaranteed to be able to know and operate in the will of God based on what we're told in the Scriptures. And we'll look at that verse in just a minute, and then we'll tie that all together with the garden experience. Let's read some scriptures together. These will be the texts that we focus on, and it's just my best to summarize, because if I stood and read the entire section and covered everything there, then that would be pretty much all of our time today. So we've condensed down these into a few key scriptures, and the one that starts with Jesus, Tori, is where we'll begin. This is a harmonized gospel account, an excerpt from a harmonized gospel account from the Garden of Gethsemane scene. It says, Jesus left the room where he had been praying and went with his disciples across the Kidron Valley to the Mount of Olives, as was their custom. They went to a garden called Gethsemane, which literally means oil press. And he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray. You pray that you may not enter into temptation." He took Peter, James, and John with him, and he began to be greatly distressed. He said to them, "My soul is full of sorrow, even to the point of death. Stay here and watch with me." He withdrew from them about a stone's throw, and then he fell to the ground on his face and said, "Abba, Father, if you are willing, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. For all things are possible for you. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Now, would you stand with me as we read specific texts that I believe become the core of what it means to be a follower of Christ. And you could mark these down and look at them in your Bible later. I'm not going to have you turn there since we're doing several. But the first one is this, Luke 9:23. If any man would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. And then another text that relates to it from Romans 12:1 and 2. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may be able to discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. You may be seated. Today I want us to look at just a few categorical elements of this experience from the time they left the upper room until the time that Jesus was arrested and taken to his trials. And I want us to look first off at their walk. I want us to look at the time in the garden. And then I want us to look extra close at the people that were involved in this. And here's what I think I'm going to find. Here, we're going to see very clearly from the way Jesus handled all of this. We're going to see that the very things that cause you and me to get off track in our lives, the things that throw us for a loop, the things that send us straight into the flesh, the things that trip us up, the things that cause us to go places we don't even like to go, are the things that instead cause Jesus to turn to the Father and lay down his life for the greater good. What kinds of things am I talking about? We'll get to those, especially when we get to the people. Because how many of you realize most of the time people are the problem? Hold on to that. And don't forget, you are a people too. The first thing I want us to look at in the walk is the lay of the land. They were leaving Jerusalem through the eastern wall. They were looking eastward to the western slopes of the Mount of Olives, where Scripture tells us they were going. On the Mount of Olives, they could see the spot in the lower slope where the Garden of Gethsemane was located, a place that they frequented often. Jesus, in particular, would withdraw there to go pray, we believe. But between the eastern wall of Jerusalem and the western slope of the Mount of Olives, they had to go through a valley. They had to go through the Kidron Valley. The Kidron Valley essentially was the necropolis of Jerusalem. What in the world is a necropolis? That means the city of the dead. It was the biggest graveyard in the whole region. It was full of graves, tombs. But that night, it was even a little bit different than that. It was also full of tents and little tent cities. Because Jerusalem, which was estimated to have a population of somewhere maybe 20 to 40,000 people at that time, had somewhere between 100 and 200,000 visitors for the Passover festival that was going on. Everything had been abuzz. A lot of people were already in town, but when the triumphal entry happened, which Pastor Spencer covered beautifully a couple of weeks ago, once that happened, word got out and more pilgrims came from around, and there were just too many people to stay in the city. So picture this. Here's 11 men plus Jesus, plus the women and some of the other followers, who in the night, without good lighting, they're having to walk through what already is a cemetery, and then they're having to work their way around the campsites that were there, and probably didn't feel like greeting a lot of the people. And it was a crazy scene, and it's one that we don't take stock of, I don't think. But here's what it says to me about the walk from the eastern wall into the garden, is that they had to deal with their circumstances of life in the middle of everything that was going on that they can't control. Can anybody relate to that? I mean, when you just had a hard night, when you just heard that the guy you've committed your life to and have been following because you thought he was going to take over the world is telling you they're about to kill me and I'm going away, you're stunned. When one of your brothers gets up and leaves the meeting and has basically identified himself as the betrayer, you're stunned. So it was a strange mood. It was a tense situation. But they walked through the lay of the land. Let's look, though, at the song that was on their lips when they were doing this. The song that they were singing. How do we know what that was? Because the Passover has a prescribed liturgy. We know what the song was, and it would be sung after the third cup, which was the last cup that they drank in the account of the Last Supper that we had. This song was called the Hallel. You see it up there on the screen? It's from the same word that we get hallelujah. So what do you think Hallel might mean? It just means praise. So now we're supposed to sing praise in the middle of all of this? I don't feel like singing, much less praise is not on my lips. These were songs that were based on Psalm 113 through 118. Psalm 113 through 118. Read those. Get a sense as we move closer to the Easter experience. Read those. Get a sense for what is there. And what you're going to see is that Jesus was singing the prophecy of his death. See, the fourth cup was called the cup of consummation, but Jesus later called it the cup of suffering. It turns out that the peak of our experience with God has a relationship with suffering. And Jesus identified that for us that day. So I want us to keep that in mind as we look at this. The lyrics were things like, I suffered distress and anguish, then I called on the Lord and prayed, deliver my soul. The snares of death encompassed me, the grave laid hold of me, but I will lift the cup of salvation and call on the name of the Lord. He already is singing the lyrics of what he's about to go to the garden and pray about. So that also gives us insight. He knew what was coming. So that's the walk. That's the walk. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. But it was a walk that led them to a place where they needed to go. And that place was the garden. Now, a little bit about the garden, and we'll move through this pretty quickly. It was an enclosed grove. It had a wall around it. There was a cave on the premises where archaeologists actually found all of the pieces of an olive press. But it was a place that provided good refuge. It was the perfect place for someone who needed to get out of the fray to spend the night during a time like they were in for this Passover when everywhere in town was really crowded. The fact that they went there often and that's where Jesus went to seek the Father is an important element for many reasons. First off, the idea that as was his custom speaks to our lives and says it's really good to develop a custom that when you need to slip away for a little bit and go get your bearings and go find out what the Father has for you next, you need a place to go. You need a go-to for that. Jesus demonstrated that to us. But it's also, in some ways, to his undoing. Because the fact that that's where he went as his custom meant Judas knew where he would likely go. and was able to send the mob there to look for him. But that place is a place where sacrifices go to get transformed. Now, while he was in the garden, the thing we think of most was the prayer that went on. First off, he got everyone situated. He told, he parked 8 of the disciples a little further away, brought Peter, James, and John in a little closer with him, said, you stay here and pray. Stay here and pray so that you don't fall into temptation. Temptation is coming. And I want you to be able to wait. Stay here and pray. And then he went in a little deeper into the garden, about a stone's throw away from them, and he prayed. And he prayed intently. Meanwhile, what'd they do? They fell asleep. They fell asleep. He's giving out strategy, but they're so caught up in themselves, in the fact that they're tired, they're depressed, their feelings are hurt, they're disappointed, they got shorted a cup of wine. They were supposed to get 4 and only got 3. That they just lost their focus and fell asleep. Meanwhile, Jesus was in doing work. In this particular point of the prayer, the agony was so intense that an angel appeared to him to comfort him and to strengthen him. Now, I don't know how often that happened. Maybe it happened really often, but this is one of the only times that we see it recorded that happened. It was in that intense moment. In the intensity of that moment, we see something happen that probably is the most vivid picture of the story. It's probably the thing we remember the most about the Garden of Gethsemane. And what was that? Was that as he was praying, he began to sweat drops of blood. And it's been speculated for years. What would have that been? What would have caused that? Why would that have happened? And now we scientifically know exactly why it would happen. When hang on, I'm sorry. When you're under acute psychological stress or terror, the body can enter a severe fight or flight response, causing an overreaction in the nervous system, maxing out anxiety, enough that the tiny blood vessels that feed the sweat glands begin to burst. And it pushes the blood to the surface of the skin, it mixes with the sweat, and comes out as red droplets. I told you I've been feeling a weight on this, and this is where the weight is setting in, which shouldn't be unusual to us, because this is where Jesus felt the weight too. That's why I believe this is a message for such a time as this. Statistics are telling us that 50% of American adults report more anxiety last year than the year before. And that percentage has been increasing year over year for at least the past 7 years. And now about 20% of American adults are clinically diagnosed with some type of anxiety disorder. In 2024, 43% of adults reported feeling anxiety or depression, with 24% consulting a mental health professional. Who's dealt with it? I have. On some level, I fit into at least one of those categories. But do we know how to beat it? Do we know how to overcome that? Jesus just showed us. Here's the biggest takeaway from today. What was that? Here's the biggest takeaway from today. Everything that Jesus experienced in the garden was Him going before you to experience everything that you could possibly experience so that He could take that on, pay the price for it, and show us the path to overcoming it. I know I said that calmly, but it's because I wanted you to really hear it. He left nothing out. I'm going to shortcut to some of the rest of the things and jump out of order a little bit, but that's okay. It was the anxiety, it was the sorrow, it was the grief, and then look at the people. Look what they did, and I'm going to jump out of order, but you'll find a slide later. He was dishonored. His best students, his star pupils, fell asleep when he told them to sit in the seat of the rabbi and keep watch. They fell asleep. He was dishonored. He was dipped. Judas just left, bugged out on him, betrayed by one of his own. He was detained unjustly. He faced extreme injustice in that moment, and yet he did it with power, with grace, with dignity. He was denied because his tough guy was afraid, and he was totally denied. His back was turned on him by what would have essentially been a best friend. He was disparaged, he was denounced, he was defenseless, he was doomed, he was disrespected, he was devalued. Has anybody found one on the list yet? Are there any of those things you haven't experienced yet? But here's the thing, those are the things that when they happen to us, they change your mood. They cause you to resort to the flesh. They make you angry. They make you jealous. They make you depressed. They make you want to pull the covers back over your head. But He went before us. And in all of those things, He stood up to them and continued on the mission that God had for Him, which was laying down His life as a sacrifice for others. My friends, the very things that the enemy has sent into your life that are designed to throw you off track, that are designed to make you spin out of control, that are designed to make you miss your purpose, that are designed to make you miserable, that are designed to keep you off mission, that are designed to leave you unfulfilled, every one of those things, while it's the enemy's plan to throw you off track, are actually God's invitation to go to the place where you will find the Father and lean into Him and stay there doing whatever it takes until you've got an answer. And you say, well, I don't think you understand what I've been through. And I would say, no, I don't think you understand what He went through. Because He's accounted for everything that you could possibly go through, and He has brought it to the place of victory that is available for you, but you can't get to the victory your way. It's got to be done His way. His way is sacrificial intelligence. What does that mean? Well, let's revisit Luke 9:23, which says, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. What does that mean? What is my cross? This is the journey to the cross. Everything Jesus demonstrated for us is showing us what our cross looks like. You need to take all of that stuff that usually derails your journey, and you need to put it on your shoulder, load it up with that cross, and keep walking. Keep going toward your destiny. Keep moving toward your place of sacrifice, but go through that to your place of resurrection and breakthrough. That's the message. That's the message. Is how I'm feeling. There's so much weight on this right now. Somebody right now is actively thinking, but my anxiety's so bad, and I'm probably stirring it up right now just by bringing these things to the surface. But has yours ever been so bad that you actually sweated blood? No. Jesus got there. Believe me, He's got your anxiety covered. He's got your anxiety covered. I want to go back to a key moment in the garden, and we'll start bringing this to a close. I want to go back to a key moment for the prayer and the pressing that took place. At one point in his prayer, Jesus went before the Father and said, if there's any way this cup, and I don't know that he had a physical cup with him, but he symbolically knew exactly what it was. This cup of suffering, he called it, the cup of praise, the cup of consummation, the last leg of the journey. If there's any other way to do this, he said, if there's any other way to do this, then show me if it's possible. With you, Father, all things are possible. Nevertheless, your will be done. Jesus pointed to what I believe is one of the chief conflicts. One of the chief conflicts in the universe. And it's the conflict between the will of God and the will of man. There's friction there. And Jesus, from a perfectly sinless standpoint, from a completely submitted standpoint, but from a completely human standpoint in that moment, he felt that friction like never before. He felt the heat of that moment. He was getting pressed by that. Just as an olive might be pressed until the oil comes out, he's feeling pressed by that moment. And he's leaning into the Father and just saying, look, everything that's in front of me, I can tell how hard this is. I'm feeling it. I know this is not going to be fun. I know this is already making my guys out there just really twisting up their minds. This is a really tough moment. If maybe I've missed it and this is not my moment, tell me. If maybe there's a different way we can do this, then tell me that, because I know with you, Father, all things are possible. So if there be any other way, let this cup pass from me. And he prayed something of that essence 3 times. Anytime that you see in the scriptures something 3 times, this is part of kind of a Hebrew literary technique, but when you see it 3 times, that means it has been completely exhausted. We have prayed this through. I don't know what praying through has meant to you, but this was praying through, right? He completely covered all possible angles. He exhausted it. He maxed it out. If there be any other way. But remember, the words of the song had been on their lips, and he knew that his death was the final consummation. And so what did he do in that moment? Knowing this is going to be hard, I have to face something I don't want to face. I know I have promises of greatness on the other side of this. I know it's all going to be all right in the end. I know that this is the key to making everything better and making everything come together. This is the key to honoring God. This is the key to people finding their forgiveness and finding fulfillment of life and spending eternity in the presence of God. I know all of that is on the line, and I feel the weight of all of that. But this is still hard in this moment. It's just like when you know deep down inside that until I face this difficult decision, until I address this broken relationship, until I break this bad habit, until I regain control of my mind and stop letting my anxiety run wild and stop letting the circumstances of life drive me into depression. I know that until I lean into that and take care of it, it's not going to go away. And so maybe I'll just sleep it off. Maybe I'll just numb my way through it. Maybe I'll find somebody else that can just give me a shortcut answer. But the reality is, Jesus showed the way until we just lean into it and lay down our lives, present our bodies as a living sacrifice. You say, well, why bodies? A lot of the things we're talking about are emotions. Well, what do they call emotions? Feelings. You've heard them called that? Why do they call them feelings? Because you feel it in your body, right? You know what that is. Present your bodies as a living sacrifice. And then it tells us, by being there, you're not conforming to the ways of the world. You're allowing God to transform you, and you're being transformed by the renewing of your mind. Literally, the synapses of your brain are being transformed. They're renewing. They're growing. They're building up. They're learning to think differently. They're learning to act differently. They're learning to break bad habits and start new ones. All of these changes are happening inside of you in those moments. Lean in, and when your body wants to get up and go somewhere else, stay there. When you want to find another way, stay there. Stay there. All right, let's bring this to a conclusion. What I want you to see today is that on display in everything that Jesus faced in the garden, on display there was him modeling for you and me that whatever life has to throw with you can be overcome. That you can lean into the things that make you want to run and hide, that make you want to go to sleep, that make you want to lash out in the flesh. You can lean into those things and keep moving toward what God has called you to do. That is the essence of sacrificial intelligence. Putting yourself in a position where your mind can be changed, you can be conformed to the image of Christ rather than the image of this world, and you can experience the renewal that leads you into the kind of life that God has for you. Here's what modern Christian life has taught us to do. It's taught us to bring our problems to the altar. And that's a good thing. That's what we're going to invite you to do today. But then what we tend to do is we pick ourselves up and we walk right out the doors, right back into a normal life. So that something that felt like a transforming moment on a Sunday, by anywhere from a few hours to a few days to a few weeks later, lands us right back in the same cycles that got us there in the first place. We've seen it over and over. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it over and over and over in even some of your lives. Today, I believe those cycles can break. I believe that by embracing the elements of sacrificial intelligence, recognizing what the cross is that we pick up. It's all the stuff that you don't want to deal with, all of the stuff that makes you respond in the flesh. That's actually your invitation to go into the presence of the Father and make your altar wherever it needs to be, wherever you are, to pull aside into His presence and seek Him for what do we do next. Seek Him for what is your will. Seek Him for how do we move toward our purpose and toward the victory that we have? That is what he's inviting us into. Let me ask a big what if. What if you died to self and died to the flesh, no longer living in the ways of the law, but living by faith in the Son of God who loved you and gave himself for you, no longer nullifying the grace of God as if Christ died for no purpose? But maybe you say, but it's hard. I don't know if I can live it out there like I can believe it inside here. And I would respond to that with what Peter wrote, that his divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness through the knowledge of him who called you by his own glory and excellence, through which he has given us his precious and magnificent promises, so that through them you may become partakers of the divine nature, now that you have escaped the corruption in this world caused by evil desires. For this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness love. If you possess these qualities and continue to grow in them, they will keep you from being ineffective and unproductive in your knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. That is why he died, that you might live in him a life of dying to self every day so that you might truly live. Let me say that again. That is why he died, that you might live in him a life of dying to self every day so that you might truly live. As a living sacrifice, the more you die to sin and self, the more you live in Christ and his righteousness. The more you understand how he's working all things together for your good. I want to close just with this one quote. Oh, we're leaving so much on the table. I'll close with this one thing. God has more in store than we have in mind. If God has more in store, then why do we settle for less? It's like an author and speaker named Todd Mullins, but when I saw that, I thought that speaks very clearly to us. Look, today, I have fumbled and bumbled my way through this. I think overwhelmed by the enormity of the subject and the tremendous shift it requires in my life and the lives of so many. But I think somehow we've been able to put out the essence of what we're talking about. This is about a life laid down. And if you're saying, what do I lay down? You lay down the things that you normally try to take up. You lay down the defensiveness, you lay down the lashing out, you lay down the bad habits, you lay down. Those are the things to lay down. The way we respond to people when those things don't go, lay it down. And when we begin to do that, I believe we're continuing to put ourselves on the line as a living sacrifice. And I believe transformation will take place. I believe our minds will begin to change. I believe we'll stop looking like the rest of the world, which we do most of the time. And I think we'll start looking like truly distinctive followers of Jesus. Would you stand with me? And during this altar call today, all I really need you to do, want you to do, is I want you to think of the one thing. There, somewhere in that mix, there was one thing that popped out to you that you deal with. It may have been the anxiety, the depression, the fear, the lashing out at others, the anger. I don't know. There was one thing. Don't get caught up in the confusion of everything else. Just grab hold of that one thing and bring that to the altar today. Take 2 minutes to present it to the Father. Say, I don't want this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I need you to do something different in and through me. Whatever you will for my life, I'll do it. But I can't do it the way I've been doing it. Present your body a living sacrifice. That's it. One thing. Bring it. Lay it down. And then attach it to an understanding of the Garden of Gethsemane that says Jesus has dealt with everything I could ever deal with, and he brought it to a place of victory. My victory starts with laying down my one thing today. Just as we begin to sing and worship, would you just bring it? Just bring that one thing. And don't let it go out of here with you. Don't walk back into normal life. You're not the same anymore. You're not the same anymore. Go ahead and begin to come as the worship team sings. Prayer team will be here at the front if you need them.